Well, hello there. How is everything today? Now, I don't normally do reviews on games or movies or anything. It's not my bag, because there isn't many good things out there anyway, is there? But there's millions of people that do reviews, and there's enough of them to go round. I just thought I'd like to share some things with you and see what you think about it. Well, Far Cry 6 isn't out yet, but the trailer is out, and I took a look at it. And although it doesn't seem like it's politically correct at the moment, we haven't got the game yet, so it may still be. But, of course, years ago I was an avid gamer, and there was loads of games, and the playability was great. But nowadays there's not that many great games out there, is there? And the trend of the AAA games is becoming a bit disastrous, at least for me anyway. They seem to be all filmmakers now. They don't really want to make a video game, they just want to make a movie with cutscenes all through it. And they want to tell this fantastic dramatic story, but it's a video game. It needs some story, but it doesn't need to be the main thing. There is another game that's actually out right now, and that's called Death Stranding, and apparently that is full of cutscenes. Mostly the whole game is cutscenes. I mean, why don't they just make a whole movie and you have these choices to make all the way through the movie, just pushing A, B or C. And then they don't sell it as a game, as a video game, because they're sort of lying to you, aren't they, really? And that's why video games are such a massive size. They're all full of cutscenes. And here's something, if you can believe it, actually on Steam, which I find to have mostly not very good games at all, sometimes. But in their top seller list, and it's at the top of the list, is the Valve Index VR kit. I mean, it's only £919, so I can imagine it'd be the best seller, wouldn't you? What a load of crock. You can't believe anything anymore, can you? Anyway, back to the game in hand, and the last decent game I played of Far Cry was, I think, Far Cry 3. It still kinda held my interest through the game. But Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 5 especially, which I bought when they dropped in price, the graphics were very good as usual in a Far Cry game, but the playability was not very good at all. In fact, I got really bored very quickly with Far Cry 5. It's the same old scenario. I mean, really, how many times can they repackage the same game? And this new Far Cry 6 seems to be the same thing. They're on an island, it's been run by this dictator, and you'll probably have to go around to all these little places, take them over, that sort of thing. And it'll probably be more focused on the story than anything else. And I remember when you bought a video game and you put it in or whatever and you just played it any way you wanted. You felt quite free what you were doing. But nowadays they kind of lead you by the nose, don't they? You have to do this first before you go there and that sort of thing. And every time there's a cutscene which goes on for ages, it kind of pulls you out of the game anyway. But I do believe that some people at Ubisoft think they can tell a really good story and they're wasted in the video game industry. But for me, they try to be so dramatic, and it just comes across to me anyway, quite corny really. For instance, this Far Cry 6 story. And they got a pretty good actor to sort of do the voice, which is okay, of course, but they could have just got a voice actor that would have been just as good at a fraction of the cost. But anyway, let's look at this story. Like you're on an island, like I say, with a dictator, and he has a son, and he's going to try and teach his son through his younger years so he can become a really good dictator when something happens to the old man. So you have all this sort of grenade thing that he gives his thing, pulls the pin and all that. Really dramatic. But if this guy is such a smart dictator, which you have to be if you're a dictator, by the way, that's how you get there, it seems a rather stupid thing to do, doesn't it? Your son, who's very valuable because he's your only heir, and you are an important person too because you're the dictator, but you walk into a room with a live grenade, give it to your son, and then get him to hold it and pull the pin. Now, a number of things could happen in that situation, right? I mean, you could pull the pin and it could just go off anyway. Or you could give it to your son, pull the pin, and he could just let go of the grenade. Or he could even drop it. But it gets even stupider, doesn't it? Then he walks to the balcony, or some sort of balcony type thing, up some stairs and everything else, with the live grenade in the boy's hand, who could trip at any time and kill them both. and then they stand at the edge of the building. They can easily slip and slide off easily because of the gravel or whatever. It doesn't really seem what a dictator would do, because it seems pretty dumb, pretty lame. But it's supposed to be dramatic. And like I say, to me it comes off as pretty stupid and corny. And I know it's supposed to convey that the dictator's a bit unhinged or something, but it doesn't work for me, at least anyway. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Death Standing, one that's mostly all cutscenes, is £54. I can imagine you can convert that into dollars or whatever, but that's unbelievable price. Anyway, when Far Cry does come out, I will have a look at it on sort of some videos of the gameplay and see what it comes out like and wait for the sale. And of course, we've all noticed the remastered old games that they keep bringing out now, and that's because people just don't make decent games anymore, and the only good ones are the old ones. But they remastered Command & Conquer. Now, I don't know why they made that one remastered. Now, if they made 0 Hour remastered, that's a different matter. That was a good game. In fact, I still play that every now and then with the Shockwave mod. It does seem a real shame what the video gaming industry has turned into. It's mostly a complete giant rip-off, most of it. And if the players would vote with their wallets, it may change, but I can't see that happening too soon. And I'm not even going to mention Last of Us 2, because that's where the gaming industry is heading unless we stop buying this crap. I didn't buy it. I know it. You did. You bought it. You're the one. I knew that. You take it easy now. And if you want to play a decent video game, get an old game out that you've got. It'll be far superior than any of the other games that are out now, focusing slightly on the story but mostly on all the gameplay, which is what a game is supposed to be. I'm going to go to Ubisoft right now and have a word with them. See you later.